Hey again, I know it's been a while since I've done one of these journaling videos, and who do I have to blame for that? It's me.
Myself.
Me. I honestly have had ideas in the past few weeks about what to do for another journaling video, but I don't know. I just didn't get around to actually recording anything. So, I'll save those for the future. Who knows when I'll do another one of these. Checking back on my track record, 2 months from now. Hopefully, this month in review for the month of July, moving everything into the month of August, counts for something. Hope you enjoy. So here I am getting ready to open the journal, and I had it bookmarked so you guys could jump directly into my month in review and my July monthly section. So if you want to compare it to my June, you can see that June is actually pretty bare and I didn't have a lot going on in the calendar. So I realized that between June and July, I wanted to add some things. Like in my things to try, I wanted to try some mood tracking, keeping track of stats, and you can see that filled out in some of the squares in July of 2020. Oh, and before jumping into the August stuff, I wanted to go over kind of what the ideas were for me doing the mood tracking and the stat tracking. So when I first started up with this streaming journal, I knew stats could get in my head and I could be negative about it, but I wanted to kind of get an idea what kind of content I have fun making and I thought actually did well with my audience. So what I wanted to do to kind of combine those two factors together was to take my mood and color grade it in a scale where the deepest green is, I loved it, I had fun, it was great, down to red or blue where I was either angry about something that happened or blue for sad about how something turned out, and then combining those colors along with my average concurrent viewer. I didn't want to go deep into stats because I know I have the problem where I can get really bogged down by the numbers and start making assumptions, but if I just combine how I felt with average concurrent viewers, I felt like this could help me kind of zone in on what I like to do and what people like to watch. And now I'm moving forward into where I have my sketch for my July month in review and my August monthly spread. I apologize for jump cuts here and there, but I have a newer setup where I have a ring light and I thought, hey, I'm gonna get A+ quality. Instead, I got a headache where it decides it'll focus whenever it wants to. Pesky webcam. Also, some further apologies with disinfectants, washing my hands, trying to keep safe with, the pandemic. The eczema on my right hand, my dominant writing hand, has decided to blow up and show itself off. So, as I'm sketching out my month in review in pen instead of pencil, I thought I would kind of introduce to you the idea of what a monthly review is if you're not familiar with the concept. So, with bullet journaling, it has the opportunity to be a planner or a journal in such a way that grows and evolves with you. But in order to be able to really do that, you need to be able to offer yourself the opportunity to sit down, reflect, and see what works for you. So that's kind of what the month in review helps me do personally. I wasn't sure at first when I first started doing this in my journal last month for the month of June going into July, but I found one that has just 4 simple headers where you look at things you want to keep, things you want to ditch, things you want to change, and things you want to try. While it's not a fancy layout or spread or anything, it does give me the opportunity to kind of sit there and consider what's happened in the past month and what I think could serve me better in the upcoming month. I can link a Medium article below in the description that kind of goes more into the creator of the bullet journal's idea when it comes to actually doing reviews. It talks about things like migration, which is a pretty big concept where you look at any open tasks, any things that you had in progress to decide, do I still want to move further with this? Is this something I'm still looking forward to, I'm excited about, or still even needs to get done at all? And again, this whole process to sit down and reconsider things is again all kind of a great way to disconnect, look into yourself and be introspective and, hopefully learn and self-improve in the process. Since this is my bullet journal specifically for me, streaming, content creation, my social media, all regarding me as Apocalypse, and the fact that I have a separate personal bullet journal, that one's more for personal feelings and things like that. So in this, for my month in review, I kind of focus in more on the organizational part of things, because I know I struggle with, I tend to have bursts of energy where I'm like, yes, I'm creating, I'm doing a lot, I'm getting a lot done, and then I just have lulls in my creativity where it's either blocks or I didn't schedule things correctly and I miss personal deadlines I like to keep for myself. So things that I decided to keep this coming month are organizational things. Like I like the weekly spread that I've set up. I like that I create unique spreads for when I'm planning things. Something that I'm ditching this month, I had a gratitude section in my previous month. Well, I like that section, and I think it's important to have an area for you to remind yourself of things that you're still enjoying about content creation. It doesn't really fit well in the month of August because August has essentially like 6 weeks in it, so the calendar ended up much bigger than I thought. And I didn't think I had a good enough amount of space in the gratitudes to be in my monthly section. So I thought maybe I can apply that somewhere else. Some of the things I wanted to change for myself involved coming up with better ways to actually plan out my weekly tasks that I like to complete, because I found in the month of July I just kept pushing things forward to say I'll get it done next week. Then also putting my journal somewhere where I'll actually see it as soon as I'm done streaming to make it easier for me to motivate myself to just, hey, pick it up as soon as I'm done, record how I feel, and then see if there's anything I'd like to improve before my next stream. As far as things I wanted to try this month, I like to put some more energy into YouTube, so with that, just kind of coming up with ideas like maybe places to keep track of some YouTube stats to get an idea of how I'm doing and what I can improve. And also maybe this month try creating some kind of like consistent schedule for content creation. Like maybe one of my days off of streaming, I focus in on making YouTube content. And then to finish off this page, I just created little highlights for the titles so everything kind of sticks out a little bit better for me. So now I'm going ahead and filling out my monthly spread. Unfortunately, when I was recording this video, I could not find my ruler. The last project I remember using it for was setting up a custom litter box for my rabbits, because there's 2 of them and they take up a lot of space, so we wanted to kind of make one out of a bigger Tupperware container to hopefully keep things a little bit cleaner for them. But you can see I kind of have some pencil sketch marks of where I expect the calendar to fill up, and as you can see, it takes up a lot of space, and that's why I wanted to move my gratitudes to another area. And below, I'm just setting up my headers for the typical topics I like to have for my monthly. So here, I'm doing what you call migration, where I'm looking at what was left over from the previous month and filling it out in my to-dos. So I decided to keep things aligned where I still haven't figured out what I want to do for the different tiers for my subs as badges. I still don't have any ideas yet for emotes for people who cheer certain amounts. And then I still have a couple things left over from the charity stream that we had done before, where I need to plan out an interactive D&D night. And I also realized I never made a plan for a Discord movie night with my community. So I made sure to note those there. And then I don't have any new goals for myself for this month. I decided to keep it all the same, where I just want to, try and stream a consistent amount each week, and then also try to upload a consistent amount this coming month. One of the reasons why I'm considering to put some more energy into YouTube is your girl is finally finishing grad school. With finishing grad school, maybe I'll actually have more time, but I feel like anytime I feel like I have more time, it just disappears into the ether. But fingers crossed that I can hopefully put more energy into things like this, because I do actually enjoy showing off the bullet journal and trying to give some tips and tricks on how I'm applying it over into the world of streaming. So here I am trying to wave off the ink to hopefully have it dry so I don't smear while I'm highlighting it, because sometimes I rush it because I like the way the highlight looks and it'll smear the ink and then I regret it. I think I did smear a little bit on the goals header though. So since it's been a little while since my previous video, I thought I'd go into how I like to set up my weekly spread in this journal, what I found works for me. Here in the top left, I'm putting a kind of a miniature calendar at a glance so I can get an idea of what week of the month I'm in and how much time I have left to work on things. To the right of that, I have a little last week bullet list for me to kind of remind myself of what I've let fall over from the previous week that I want to take a look at into this upcoming week. Originally, in my plans for it, I put down pretty much everything I had in my to-do from the monthly, and I realized for myself it's a little overwhelming. where I'll look at that list and go, there's too much there. I have enough going on. I'll not worry about that now. So instead, I decided to just put my topmost, and fingers crossed, I'll actually be able to complete that one item, because like I mentioned, I want to change how I handle tackling these weekly tasks, and hopefully if I don't put too much there, it'll help me focus in and actually complete some of those tasks. So here I'm actually going in and writing down each day of the week. While I don't stream on each one of these days of the week, I wanted to kind of leave myself a spot so I can maybe put 1 or 2 tasks on my days off for me to help, grow my community in different ways. Whether it be taking time to actually build new content for YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter, or just trying to get more involved in those communities. I do realize my consistency on anything other than Twitch right now is not really there, and I think it could help help me in the long run if I get to be more active in others' communities on those different platforms. Another thing I'm considering outside of just, being more involved in those communities is also to help educate myself more on different platforms. So while I do watch a lot of content on how to grow and better yourself on Twitch from great resources like Harris Heller and Ashley Christ, I've also found an area of YouTube where people are willing to break down the algorithm in such a way that I would have never figured it out on my own. So being able to get either more involved with those creators or just consuming more of their content, I think would be really helpful. Another thing I think you'll notice is next to the days that I do stream, I try to put a little bullet point so I can go, all right, I know this is my Tuesdays. I always stream Teamfight Tactics on Tuesdays unless something special happens. Wednesdays, I'm starting a Steins Gate read through for a visual novel. Rip my voice because I'm trying to do voices for all the characters. Fridays, I have my Trifecta Friday with friends, and then Saturday I do my podcast and Fire Emblem. All of these are on Twitch. Here I'm flipping back to one of the weeks in July so I can show you how I separate the days by using my mood tracking, and I also like to keep track of the stats on the daily level. And then after each of these days, I will go back into the monthly and actually put them there. I also wanted to go back, waft a little bit to hopefully let the ink dry a little bit more, and then highlight which week this week highlights. So that's how I like to use the mini calendar to kind of help me remember where we are in the month. So that's my month in review and me setting up the month of August. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of content, please let me know in the comments or leave a like so I know to make more bullet journal videos for you. Also in your comment, if you have other topics you'd like me to cover in the world of bullet journaling, let me know. Thanks. Have a great day.